such a big family. It seems like this is mostly about the McDucks.
They are my family. We may not be related by blood, but by love.
But you aren't really related to them. What about these two?
These are my best friends, which are like family that you choose. We have all kinds of secrets, and these friendship bracelets we never take off, and one time we visited a bog.
Looking at the season finale in its entirety, it's hard to imagine a DuckTales Season 4, honestly. But overall, looking at this finale as a whole, and knowing that this is the last season, because it wasn't planned, they just sort of got the announcement, hey, you're done. I felt that it's a good way to end the series, but it wouldn't be a great way to, stop the series and then go into another one. And part of me is glad that the series is getting canceled. And this isn't because I disliked this show. Far from it. I'm a DuckTales fan. I've always been a DuckTales fan. It's actually my first fandom. Since the original one came out. And that got me to read the comic books, play the video games. So, yeah, make no mistake. I like DuckTales. But, I can't quite see this series going beyond what this finale is. And maybe that's for the best. Because how long could we really keep going after this finale? I know we have ideas as to where we want the characters to go. But a big part for me about the whole point of serialization is I don't think DuckTales does it as well as it could be doing. But I think that's a video for another time. What I like about the finale is it really is sort of the best version of anything more than 22 minutes that this series has put out. So Magica's story in season 1 was honestly, in my opinion, not that great, and that's because of what it was building up to. It was building up from episode 1 to that finale. Season 2, the Moonvasion was actually really good. But again, the story in between that didn't quite work. Season 3, the finale works well, Fowl is already established, and there's some problems in the middle. Namely, I always felt Let's Get Dangerous was a missed opportunity. They kind of botched that. But Last Adventure, to me, works because it understands, it had the right amount of stuff to work with. My only real issue with it is I'm not quite sure who the protagonist is of this season. So season 1 it was Dewey, season 2 it was Louie, and season 3 should have been Huey, but then Webby comes in. And it's not like Webby's story came out of nowhere. The Lost Herb of Nirvana had that scene. So we knew it was coming, but with that in mind, shouldn't this have been a Huey and Webby finale, which it tried to be. I think it just kind of dropped the ball a bit. So this finale does something very well, and it's something that I call the division of labor. So within your series you have your main characters, and you want your main characters to sort of juggle the screen time and effectiveness as characters as well as possible. You never want one character doing all the heavy lifting. This is a big problem in certain shonen series, Naruto, let's call it Naruto, and especially in Bleach. One Piece is very good at its division of labor, but to me the best example of it would possibly be the game Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, because it's actually about all three of them. So with the division of labor, what we're seeing is every character has something to do, something to contribute. No one feels like they're just tacked on for the sake of being tacked on. For example, Duckworth isn't here. And all of a sudden Gladstone doesn't show up like, hey, I can help. No, everyone here has a reason to be here. You know, Donald and Della are here for a reason. They have their own little story. Launchpad, Gizmo Duck, and Darkwing Duck are here for a really fun little adventure. Lena and Violet, who might be the closest to sort of just being there for the sake of being there, they have a reason in narrative to be there. They're going to look for Webby. And we understand the boys, why they're there, why Scrooge is there, Beakley's there. Everything makes sense, and everyone has their own little things to do. And of course, Bradford, who was revealed to be the villain, I felt was great. He's been possibly the best villain the series has produced, because they've sort of botched every other villain. Like, I have to do another DuckTales villain video. I think I have to do it at this point just to talk about that. But what Bradford was good at was being a nice polar opposite to Scrooge and the Duck family as a whole. You know, not only does he have an artificial family, he dislikes the one family member we know he has, Isabella Finch, and he even sort of goes this sort of other parallel, this other foil to Scrooge, where Scrooge is very, you know, adventurous, risk, you know, he's willing to take risk. He's willing to like, hey, we got to give it our all, and whatever happens, happens. Bradford's like, no, we have to control it in. Chaos will be the death of us all, and even if I have to become the embodiment of everything I say I'm not, I'll do it. It makes a good character, and seeing Bradford's descent into villainy, I think, is great. Again, the real villain, the real hero, the real winner of this is Black Heron, because she did exactly what she said she would do. She'd made a proper villain out of Bradford. But everything I like about this finale, the fact that everyone has something to do, the animation's great, this is one of the best fight scenes, Scrooge versus Bradford. It's actually one thing I really do like about Scrooge's take here, is that he's a fighter. The original DuckTales cartoon wasn't quite ready for that. The animation doesn't quite lend itself to that. Even at some of its best, with what I would say would be like the Gargoyle series, and even the Mighty Ducks, it didn't quite have the combat scenes that this has. It's very good. My issue is, I don't quite. This doesn't feel like properly built up. So they can tell me all they want, that they've always sort of planned that Webby was going to be the clone/daughter of Scrooge. That's fine. But that's not my issue. My issue with the clone theory, well, with the clone reveal, is how Webby just goes, he's my dad. He's not. He's not. My issue with it is it sort of undermines everything else going on here. This season, this entire series has always been about family, and Webby sort of adopting herself. It's sort of adopting the McDuck family. To say that now she's really a part of the family because there's a connection, it sort of undervalues her relationship with Lena and Violet, and even sort of invalidates their family because Violet's not related to her dad's, as far as we know, and Violet's not related to them. The idea of family not having to be just who you're related to, it's not about blood, I felt was a really great message. That was one of the cool things about Lilo and Stitch, when Stitch says he found his own family. And I also have issue with the fact that I'm not quite sure Huey and Bradford's story kind of had the proper ending. Bradford isn't Webby's enemy. He's not Huey's enemy, he's Scrooge's enemy. And so there is something fitting to the fact that Bradford throws his henchmen away, his quote-unquote close thing he has to his family away, and then it's Scrooge's family who he's willing to sacrifice his love of adventuring for, and they're the ones that end up saving him. That works thematically. But this wasn't quite where we went here. To me, this was always supposed to be a build-up between Huey and Scrooge versus Bradford, or you could even say Bradford would have his Huey, his sort of child, and Huey would be the representative of Scrooge, would be his clash, and there would be more temptation for Huey to agree with Bradford, because one thing Bradford played off with was the loss of family. It's weird that Bradford never knew about Bradford feels like he knew about that. He was told about the whole time. I think but it's really delicate. It's also weird that he apparently changed so much on going off into space and never coming back. It seems like that accident. I don't know. But outside of that, I did like it. Brings me to close here. I want to do a more in-depth video on other things about the series later on, so I just want to get this video out of the way.